headlines tonight. Prime Minister Hun Sen has announced that Cambodia is now fully reopened, living with COVID-19 as the new normal. Cambodia is now vaccinating 5-year-old children as part of its fight against COVID-19. Hundreds of Mayan artifacts found in Mexico believed to be 1,000-year-old. This is the Daily Roundup here at EAC News Channel. A very good evening to you. I'm Rhea Soko. After a series of lockdowns and restrictions due to COVID-19 outbreaks, Prime Minister Hun Sen has finally announced the country's full reopening starting on Monday. He says no more lockdowns, no more restrictions. However, KTVs and nightclubs remain closed. Prime Minister Hun Sen has divided the COVID-19 fight of the kingdom into 4 stages. First was March to October 2020, the start of taking action against the spread of the coronavirus. Second, to November 2020 to February 2021, managing the spread of the virus. Then third, from February 2021 until the end of October, as the government taking action to vaccinate the population in order to achieve herd immunity against COVID-19. Then to the public surprise, the Prime Minister says the 1st of November is the beginning of the 4th stage, the start of reopening of all the sectors in the country, the day people in the country starts to live in the new normal, that is, living with COVID-19. Prime Minister Hun Sen has assured that there will be no more lockdowns. He has seen the impact of lockdowns and restrictions. He stresses that it just made people's situation worse. Of all the sectors now allowed to operate normally, KTVs and nightclubs are still on hold. The Prime Minister emphasizes that only those with businesses with big spaces are reopened with no people crowding, risking huge spread of COVID-19. Following the vaccination of children ages 6 to 17, the royal government has decided to vaccinate those 5 years old. The 5-year-old vaccination campaign has kicked off on Monday in Phnom Penh, with Prime Minister presiding over the ceremony. EAC News reporter Yuri Matusko has the details.
The kickoff ceremony was held at the Peace Palace, at the same time with the closing of the first dose. The vaccination of the 5-year-old children is part of the government's action to protect the children while returning to schools. It will be China's Sinovac vaccine which should be used to inoculate with this age group. Sinovac has already been used to vaccinate children from 6 to 17 years old. Prime Minister Hun Sen has announced that 1 million doses of COVID-19 vaccine will arrive in Cambodia this month. It will be another help of the People's Republic of China to Cambodia in the fight against COVID-19. As of Sunday, the government has vaccinated 85.66% of the country's total population of 60 million, 97.89% of the age group 12 to 17, and 101.2% for the age 6 to 11 age group. Yuri Matusko, EAC News.
Students are now back to school. All schools nationwide have reopened on Monday, following the directives from the Ministry of Education, Youth and Sport. The reopening covers both public and private institutions across the kingdom after 8 months of closure. EAC News reporter Lianto Muhammad has the story.
Due to the February 20 community transmission outbreak, most schools have been closed for 8 months. But with Prime Minister Hun Sen's recommendation to start reopening the education institution, the Ministry of Education has evaluated the school nationwide. There were also secondary levels that had already been reopened last month from low-risk areas. On Monday, Prime Minister Hun Sen has announced the full reopening of the country. It is also coincided with the reopening of the school nationwide. The Ministry of Education, Youth and Sport has reminded all education institutions to adhere to the safety health measures, especially the 3 does and the 3 don'ts, to avoid future spreading of the COVID-19. Prime Minister Hun Sen says that in this case, the positive cases detected in school, there will no longer be closure. The COVID-19 patient will be treated, but no longer be closure will be implemented. Lianto Mohammed, EAC News.
The royal government has issued the emergency use authorization of 4 types of Russian COVID-19 vaccines last Friday. The health ministry has clarified that Russian vaccines will be used only for priority groups at the national vaccination plan. It is expected that with this approval, the Russian vaccines will speed up the kingdom's target of herd immunity against COVID-19. EAC News reporter Yuri Matusko has the story.
The Minister of Health of Cambodia, Man Bunheng, has signed the authorization for emergency use of the Sputnik V, Sputnik Light, Covivac, and Epivac Corona, all from Russia. Cambodia is aiming to administer booster shots to the public with the Russian vaccines selected for priority groups, such as seniors and people with certain medical conditions. At the G20 conference happening in Italy, President Vladimir Putin has stated that WHO must speed up the procedure of qualifications for new vaccines, since the Russian jabs are still being examined and waiting for an WHO approval. However, the Sputnik V has already been approved for use in more than 70 countries with a combined population of more than 4 billion. Russia has also developed the Sputnik Light, a one-component vaccine that can be used to improve the effectiveness of other vaccines. Currently in Cambodia, the Chinese Sinovac and Sinopharm are the most administered vaccines, followed by AstraZeneca and Johnson & Johnson. The Pfizer vaccine Moderna is also approved, although no doses have arrived in the kingdom. Yuri Matusko, EAC News.
Hitting 2 birds at the same time. For the first time, the Kingdom of Cambodia has won an international award relating to digital innovation. Plus, it has been proven as a useful tool in the government's fight to curb the spread of COVID-19. Cambodia was awarded by the International Telecommunication Union for the success of the Stop COVID QR code that is being implemented in the country. AEAC News reporter Yuri Matusko has the story.
The kingdom has been trying to adjust to a new normal, with some measures that could guarantee safety of people going in businesses and malls. That's why the royal government have created the QR code Stop COVID in February of this year. It was designed for contact tracing, quarantine control, and vaccination status. Now, the QR code Stop COVID has just won an international award for digital innovation by the United Nations. The award was promoted by the International Telecommunication Union and the United Nations Office for South-South Cooperation. Along with the award is a cash prize of $20,000, as well as an invitation to share its knowledge and experiences with other countries at an organizing training program. Around 250 institutions have participated of the Global South COVID-19 Digital Innovation Challenge, aimed to seek digital solutions to cope with the effects of the pandemic and contribute with the technological cooperation between developing countries. Yuri Matusko, EAC News.
Cambodia's daily COVID-19 figures continue to show a decrease, with a second consecutive day of less than 100 cases confirmed. The health ministry has confirmed just 91 new COVID-19 cases by way of PCR tests. That number has not been that low since April. 6 more deaths have reported overnight though, with 4 counted as unvaccinated patients. There have been 175 patients discharged in the past 24 hours, taking the number of active cases down to 910. The latest stats take the kingdom's total COVID-19 case count to 118,613. The death toll has reached 2,794. The number of patients treated successfully has climbed to 114,902. Now for a look at news-making international headlines this Monday, 1st of November.
At least 9 people have been killed in a car bombing near an airport in Yemen's temporary capital, Aden. Another 12 people are believed to have been injured in Saturday's explosion, described as a terrorist bombing by Prime Minister Moen Abdul Malik Said, The vehicle was carrying petroleum products. Eyewitnesses say women and children are among the casualties. So far, no one has claimed responsibility. The attack coincided with the arrival of Aden's former governor at the airport. He is unhurt. The current governor was himself a target of a car bombing 3 weeks ago, which left another 6 people dead. Saturday's bombing is the deadliest attack in the city since at least 22 people were killed at the same airport last December.
A gold mine camp was destroyed on Friday during a protest against mining activity in southern Peru. General manager of the mine, Guilherme Chino, has reported that the anti-mining protesters have invaded the camp of Apumayo mine, located in the Andean area of Ayacucho, and burned the administrative offices, some vehicles, and part of the site's infrastructure. The protesters have accused the company of environmental damage. According to the Peruvian Mines Ministry, a small group entered the camp and took explosive material, and on Friday, they burned the facilities. The Ombudsman's office says that 10 people were reported injured in the protest and urged the environmental watchdog to monitor water quality in the area to identify the presumed contamination. This conflict is in addition to the orders against mining deposits that have been reactivated since leftist Pedro Castillo took office in July, after winning the elections with overwhelming support from residents near the mining areas, who demand benefits from exploiting the resources. Peru is the world's second largest producer of copper, silver, and zinc, and 6th of gold.
And the 2021 United Nations Climate Change Conference, also known as COP26, is the last chance salon, Britain's Prince Charles says during a speech to G20 leaders on Sunday in Rome.
Ladies and gentlemen, COP26 begins in Glasgow tomorrow. Quite literally, it is the last chance saloon. We must now translate fine words into still finer actions. And as the enormity of the climate challenge dominates people's conversations, from newsrooms to living rooms, and as the future of humanity and nature herself are at stake, it is surely time to set aside our differences and grasp this unique opportunity to launch a substantial green recovery by putting the global economy on a confident, sustainable trajectory and thus save our planet.
He says everyone must now translate fine words into still finer actions. The G20 bloc, which includes Brazil, China, India, Germany, and the United States, accounts for an estimated 80% of the global gas emissions that scientists say must be sharply reduced to avoid climate catastrophe. Prince Charles is expected to speak at the opening ceremony of the summit on Monday to welcome world leaders, a day after Queen Elizabeth pulled out on doctors' advice.
Brian?
After the break, a look at the day's sports news.
EAC News fully supports the Royal Government of Cambodia's preventative and administrative measures against COVID-19. But we need you to play your part in helping bring the 20 February community transmission event to an end. Wash your hands regularly, sanitize wherever possible. Keep an eye on your body temperature. Use the Stop COVID QR code and maintain a safe social distance. But above all, please, please, please wear a mask. Only together can we beat COVID-19. EAC News' audience is growing. Our YouTube channel has over 150,000 verified subscribers. To mark the milestone, we've received the Silver Creator Award from YouTube. It's given to channels with over 100,000 subscribers. YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki says the award celebrates EAC News' hard work and incredible achievement. She says we brought a unique voice and style to the world, but have also created valuable connections and built a community along the way. The next milestone we're going for is 1 million subscribers, and we'd really like that Gold Creator Award. So if you're not already a subscriber, head to YouTube and search for EAC News. Subscribers get alerts when the Daily Roundup is premiering and live events are streaming. Get all the latest breaking news and updates from Cambodia in English. The EAC News channel on YouTube. Cambodia Made Clear. If it's happening and you need to know about it, you'll get it all right here. EAC News brings you updates and breaking news in English across all of our platforms and channels. The EAC News app, YouTube, Facebook, Telegram, Twitter, and our website www.eacnews.asia. Join me, Andrew Barnes-Roberts, and the rest of the EAC News team every day on your favorite channels. EAC News, Cambodia Made Clear.
Egypt might be famous for its pyramids amid the desert sands, but what not everyone knows is that some Egyptians are interested in ice hockey. The country hosted its first ever Friendship League's ice hockey tournament to promote the winter sport and inspire Egyptians to be part of international championships in the future.
Egypt does not have an ice hockey national league, but local players hope to inspire Egyptians to create one. In partnership with a tourism organization that uses sports to harness cross-cultural engagement, the country hosted 3 days of games in the capital, Cairo. Out of 6 teams that played, 3 were Egyptian. They were made up of local players residing in Egypt and abroad, and a final third team representing the Egypt ice hockey national team. The remaining 3 teams brought in a mix of players from the United States, the United Kingdom, France, Switzerland, Germany, Japan, and others.
Argentina's football team is marking the first death anniversary of the former Boca Juniors, Napoli, and Barcelona player Diego Maradona. Maradona died on 20 November last year from a heart attack. His death was widely mourned in Argentina, which he led to triumph in the 1986 World Cup. Argentine football is gearing up for a weekend of celebrations to mark the birthday of the late soccer star. Matches across the country being paused and clubs and fans dressing to remember the controversial superstar. Players are to take the field wearing T-shirts with Maradona's picture in the front, and team captains are to wear a blue and white armband, Argentina's national colors, with Maradona's silhouette on it. And Saturday, Maradona's former teammates played a match in his honor at Diego Armando Maradona Stadium, where the soccer star made his debut at the Argentinos Juniors Club in 1976. A 2021 Rhythmic Gymnastics World Championship was held between 27 and 31 of October in Kitakyushu, Japan. And once again, the Russians showed their well-known excellence in gymnastics, acquiring gold in the group all-round final.
Anastasia Bliznyuk, Polina Orlova, Angelina Shkatova, Aliza Chichenko and Maria Tolkaichova combined for the RGF to score 88.350 overall, guaranteeing their first place at the group all-around final. Italy recovered from a below-par showing in the balls routine to place second in the clubs, which secured the silver medal with 86.0 points. Belarus took third place on 85.400 points after consistent performances across both disciplines. The victory marks the fourth of a possible 5 gold medals won by RGF gymnastics. The Russian Dina Averina has also made a brilliant performance during the World Championship, with a total of 14 individual titles, the most individual golds at the World Championship of any rhythmic gymnastic ever.
Now let's have a look at tomorrow's weather condition. And finally, hundreds of Mayan artifacts, including a canoe believed to be more than 1,000 years old, have been found in Mexico's Yucatan. It was found on Friday while workers building a tourist rail project.
The extremely rare wooden canoe was found almost completely intact, submerged in a freshwater pool known as a cenote. It has a measure of over 5 feet in length and 2.5 feet wide. Mexican Antiquities Institute INAH says the canoe was possibly used to transport water from the cenote or deposit ritual offerings. The institute described the extraordinary find as the first complete canoe like this in the Maya area, adding that experts from Paris Sorbonne University will help with an analysis of the well-preserved wood to pinpoint its age and type. The canoe is tentatively dated to between 830 and 950 AD, near the end of the Maya civilization's classical zenith, when dozens of cities across present-day southern Mexico and Central America thrived amid major human achievements in math, writing, and art.
Thanks for watching the Daily Roundup here on the EAC News Channel. For more updates and breaking news, you can check our website www.eacnews.asia. You can also check our EAC News Facebook page, Telegram, and at your favorite app store. More from the EAC News team tomorrow night at 8. I'll see you then.